In areas of the federal government that are
reductions
we
in
expect
force.
massive cuts of federal contractors and others who are overbilling the federal government. So yes, we expect all of the above.
Trump's the candidate of hope and change now.
What the hell?
Thank you very, very much.
Wait, go. It's a jungle out there. Hey, come back. There's hungry leopards.
Unfortunately, Joe was treated better by the tribesmen than by his fellow world leaders.
Indeed, by the fighting men of World War II or Korea. Until the latest of our world conflicts, the United States had no armaments industry. American makers of plowshares could, with time and as required, make swords as well. But we can no longer risk emergency improvisation of national defense. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Added to this, 3.5 million men and women are directly engaged in the defense establishment. We annually spend on military security alone more than the net income of all United States corporations. Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. The total influence, economic, political, even spiritual, is felt in every city, every state house, every office of the federal government. We recognize the imperative need for this development, yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. Our toil, resources, and livelihood are all involved. So is the very structure of our society. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Put on the brakes! Put on the brakes! Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, poofties, bung-eyed heifers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, to another version of It's News to Us. And who are we? Where are we? What are we doing here? You are watching Newport's It's News to Us, where Newport's oldest TV news watchers new. Who knew brown cows, the locals say. And, okay, we don't know who's running the show. We're the closest we have ever been in our gray-haired lives to nuclear Armageddon, and we have no idea whose finger's on the trigger and who's got the friggin' nuclear football, Philo. Is it this guy?
Oh, don't look at me. I don't have it.
Get off my lawn.
You have it?
Yeah, he looks like he has it.
Oh, him.
Yeah, he has it up his butt.
He doesn't even know what planet he's on.
Yeah, well, Philo was nice enough to put in a clip that shows him walking away into the jungle down in Peru.
Let's bungle in the jungle.
You know, he was good enough to go down there and hand him over $2 billion of our money
Where was this?
in Peru.
Oh, that. Okay. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and it's like $2 billion of our dollars while people are still living in tents and God knows where in North Carolina from the hurricane.
Yeah, I know.
Here he is right here. All hail the Cadaver-in-Chief. And we're finding out more and more, too, that they were told, and they were so stupid they put it in writing because they thought they, just like in 2016, they thought they couldn't lose. They put it in writing that they, to pass over any place that had a Trump sign. And here we are. Peace and prosperity, not wars and austerity. And boy, he's going to anger the military-industrial complex. And Philo was nice enough to put a clip of my favorite president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, giving his farewell address, or part of it. And
He was a president when you were born.
Yipper.
And you know who was a president when I was born?
Truman.
Yeah, exactly. I got the tail end of Give him hell, Harry.
Yeah. Well, Truman was a pisser, man.
Well, you know, the military-industrial complex wanted to know how many nuclear weapons they could use to get rid of China.
Yeah, and Truman said, no, you can't have any of them.
Yeah, that was scary business. They wanted to just wipe out everything.
He took him away from MacArthur. Your speaker's cracking up. And we catered to everybody here, men, women, and batwangers. And you're all welcome here. And defund the police, I don't think so. We're going to defend the good cops. And okay, here's a bunch of news sites for all y'all, in case you get bored and looking for some real news instead of that network crap that they shovel out the door. And climatedepot.com, that's a good one too, because we've got a relevant story of Vermont. And, oh, here we are, right here. These guys are good. Openthebooks.com. You want to see some government waste? Ooh, mister. And here's some more. The Heritage Foundation, and more and more and more. And here's some more here. And there's some more there, too. My God, man, you've got enough news sites to last you until doomsday. I hope you're happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Oh, in the booth we have Philo T. Farnsworth. The table just got in my way. Philo T. Farnsworth, the College of Musical Knowledge. You can see him with the behind the glass. We keep him locked up in there and slide him a pizza under the door every now and then.
Speaking of which, I'm buying pizza for my coworkers tomorrow.
Oh, man.
You know who I get it from? I get it from Runaway Tomato.
What, the guy with the trailer?
Yeah, he's going to be there tomorrow.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's good. Very good pizza. Yes?
You hear bells?
No.
I do. Somebody's ringing the bells up at the Catholic Church. They just stopped.
I don't hear anything. Must be your watch.
Well, you're in the booth, for crying out loud. It's the soundproof booth.
Well, it's not really soundproof, but it's close.
Yeah. If that guy doesn't clean the crap out of the damn gutters, it could be long for this world up there. Oh, let's see, what do we got? Oh, man. I've got a couple of horror stories about the post office here. Now, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but we hear that the post office, see, my father worked for the government. He was in the NAGE, the National Association of Government Employees, and they could do anything they want, but they were not allowed to strike. You couldn't strike. If you went on strike, you lost your job. It was just that simple.
Just like the air traffic controllers did.
Yeah, until Reagan got rid of Patco. But anyways, I was expecting a very important check from Montana, okay?
Moving to Montana soon.
Yeah, gonna be a dental floss tycoon.
Yippee-yi-yo-ti-yay.
Yeah. So anyways, luckily, I mean, they can track this stuff. They can track it no problem. Night and day, they'll tell you wherever the hell it is. But can they get it to your damn doorstep or your mailbox? That's a different story.
Yeah.
So get this, Philo. It left Billings, Montana on the 15th.
Well, you know why it's taking so long? It's the dog sled.
Yeah.
Look at a dog sled that comes out of Billings.
Yeah, it's been awful snowy up there in them hills.
You're lucky it hasn't come out of Red Lodge. Whenever Barb sends something to her daughter in Red Lodge, it's a good 2 to 3 weeks before it gets there.
Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. And Billings is in the eastern part of the state. That ain't even in the mountains.
Nope.
It's in the prairie. Anyways, they left Billings on the 15th, 12:25 p.m. Okay, 5 days later, it lands in White River Junction, which is down the end of Vermont, close to the Mass border, okay? Then for some reason, on the 21st at 10:14 a.m., it shows up here in Island Pond, Philo. Now, what the heck is an island pond except for a bunch of lumber and moose, godforsaken moose fudge?
Well, why don't you just go over and get it?
Yeah, I should have, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, would have been a scenic ride. And they don't have that Ted Stevens cop over there anymore.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Remember that?
His name was Ted something, but it wasn't Stevens.
Wasn't Stevens? It was Ted something. Terrible
Miller.
Ted.
Teddy Miller.
Yeah,
Teddy
maybe.
Miller.
Anyways, this cop used to pull over everybody and shake them down, and he was just, it took an act of Congress to get rid of him. Anyways, they left Island Pond and suddenly wound up, it goes from White River Junction up to Island Pond, up near where we are, up here in the Northeast Kingdom, and then back, all the way back down to Nashua, New Hampshire.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was in Nashua, New Hampshire on the 22nd at 3 a.m. And then it wound up here on the 25th, 3 days later, at 10:30 a.m.
So you finally got it?
Yeah, finally.
Oh, good.
So I sent the tracking stuff to somebody in San Diego, and they sent me back another one of Tale of Woe from them. And it says, like, I'll show you this, I'll raise you this, I'll give you this one and raise you that one, right? It's she went to mail a package or an envelope, envelope letter, whatever, from San Diego to, I don't know, someplace in southern New Hampshire, New Ipswich, someplace over there, right? So she mailed it, San Diego, 11:15, 2:04 p.m. It went to the distribution center at 8:36 p.m. It departed the center on the 16th at 10:28 p.m., was in transit on the 16th, in transit on the 17th, wound up in Indianapolis on the 18th, and then was in transit again. Went back to Indianapolis at 4:18 a.m. on the 18th, and then it was in transit on the 23rd, and then wound up going back to Indianapolis at 5:19 a.m. I don't know when it got delivered. I just gave up at that point. I said, that's it.
But you did get your check.
Yeah, I did, finally. I paid my taxes on the way in here.
I had a similar situation when I sent my son a check for his birthday this past year. 3 weeks to get to Utah, southern Utah. Not even near Salt Lake City, but way down in the south where there's hardly anybody there. And I put a stop on the check, then it shows up 3 days later. So I sent this thing registered. Everywhere it went, it had to be signed for, and guess where it got stuck? It came out of here, Went to Boston and stayed there for 2 weeks. Nobody would sign for the damn thing.
Wow.
Finally, it got to him a week later.
My brother-in-law got out of the Navy. He's a year or two older than me. He got out of the Navy. It was Vietnam era veteran. And he got a job working for the post office in Boston. And the horror stories that guy could tell you, man, it was just crazy, Philo. Crazy.
Usually when I send stuff, it usually gets there, and pretty fast. This one time, for some reason, they had a trouble, and so later on, I went and I sent him something else,
Yeah.
like from Amazon. It got there 3 days.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we'd be better off selling the thing and privatizing it. It's like get rid of this unions. I've had it with unions. They say, well, every worker's got a right to organize. Well, you know what? I think that every business owner has a right to run his business without having to deal with unions. How about them apples?
Yeah, I worked for one. It served me.
Yeah,
we had to
Philo
have-
and I had exactly different experiences with unions
Yeah.
in the machinist and aerospace industry. But anyways,
There are some that are terrible, I agree.
yeah,
Ours just happened to be a good one.
wicked bad, man. It was just a bunch of drunks. The meetings were held in the parking lot. The bar was Flossie's trunk. Old Flossie would show up, open the trunk to her Cadillac, and it was a cooler full of ice, a bunch of cups, and a full-on bar and cases of beer and everything you want right there.
We never had that. Never.
Yeah. This was the IAM in San Diego. Anyways, the Wolfman Jack, it's finally asked the Judge Tanya Chutkin, another black woman who has a Woody for Trump, down in D.C.
I bet she does.
Yeah. And he had no case to stand on as this insurrection crap. But yet, lo and behold, he asked her to dismiss it without prejudice or whatever, so he could bring it up again. It's the one where you can bring it up again. Like he's going to go chasing after him when Trump is 80-something years old and ends out his term. This guy's crazy, man. And Philo was nice enough to put in a clip of him, too. He's got bad skin, bad hair, bad eyes, a bad attitude, everything. He's just a bad dude, man. And he's lost, I don't know how many cases before the Supreme Court. He lost one against John Edwards, right, Philo?
Yeah.
For
Okay.
some campaign crap.
Yep.
He lost one against the governor of Virginia for some campaign crap. He lost other ones, but anyways, this is from Julie Kelly at Real Clear Investigations, because they say, oh, this wasn't controlled by the White House. No, the White House had nothing to do with it. We at the White House are pure as the driven snow. We didn't put any stumbling blocks in front of Trump to try and get rid of him. Oh, no, we didn't. Well, get this. This was from last spring. Unredactions reveal early White House involvement in the Trump documents case. That's that stupid-ass case where they said he took the documents out of the archives or some crap. Well, he has the full right, we've gone through this under the Presidential Records Act, that he can, whatever he says goes. If he says it's classified, it's classified. It isn't, man. He's the ultimate arbiter. So anyways, top Biden officials worked with the archives to develop special counsel Wolfman Jack Smith's case against Trump involving the alleged mishandling of classified material, according to recently unsealed court documents in a case pending in southern Florida. More than 300 pages of newly unredacted exhibits, emails, and other correspondence related to the early stages of the hunt for the presidential papers challenge public statements by Joe Bite-Me about what he knew and when he knew it. Challenge public statements. Well, it's a good way of saying that we caught Biden, the White House, lying. Oh, coffee. The new disclosures indicate the DOJ was in touch with the Archives and Records Administration, NARA, during much of 2021. They started from the day they got in the White House, Philo,
Yeah, okay.
trying to trip him up. This stuff's got to end. We are not the Republic of friggin' Panama or El Salvador. No, we don't do this stuff, man.
Yes, we do, and we have the start of it was when Obama got elected, and Rush Limbaugh's and Mitch McTurtle came right out. But the day he took office, we have to make sure he's a one-term president. And Limbaugh's goes, I hope he fails. And somebody said, wouldn't you like the country to succeed? No, I want him out of here. It's on both sides, Steve.
But no. But they didn't use the full weight of the government to go after him.
No, they didn't do that.
No, because Obama was the executive for all intents and purposes. These guys used the whole executive office and the full weight of the Injustice Department to go after Trump. I mean, everything. They tried to take his business away. There was this stupid Stormy Daniels crap, and then that lady. They said, well, it's not that he raped her. He said he was innocent of raping her, so that means he defamed her. So we're going to get him for defamation. It's like, what?
Don't you love lawyers?
Oh, yeah. And they took the law and twisted it and bent it around, and it's not going to friggin' no. We can't let this happen again, ever again. These people have to be taught a lesson. And the lesson is that they're depriving people of their civil rights. And that's where the weight's going to come down on them. Okay.
Oh, you mean like forcing us to take vaccines and wear masks?
Exactly. Philo's exactly right. Right there, too. And thank God we're going to have Bobby Kennedy to run that department. And, it's a great example, Philo.
Our patience is wearing thin.
Oh, yeah, we're going to go door to door and make sure you don't leave your house.
I know what he really wanted. He wanted to collect all these doors and take them home.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. It was nuts. It's the reign of witches is over. Well, it's not over until January. And it's crazy because these pukes, they're meeting, and the Europeans are meeting right now and discussing nuclear weapons, Philo, using nuclear weapons. As a matter of fact, who is it there? Michael McFaul, Obama's ambassador to Russia, right? He recently wrote that a nuclear war was winnable. That a nuclear war with Russia was winnable, Philo.
Well, I don't think anybody wins in those.
No. The cancer rates and radiation swirling around the globe, these people are insane. You people are friggin' insane.
Well, if we have a nuclear war, Vermont will still go electric. We'll still save the planet anyway.
Yeah, we'll all glow in the dark, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so anyways, the DOJ, it started in 2021, classified marking 15 boxes that Trump gave to the archives a month earlier. The court exhibits compiled by Trump's defense lawyers and kept under seal show that the deputy White House counsel, Jonathan Sue, regularly communicated with the archive officials, which they swore up and down they didn't. No, we didn't communicate with them at all. We didn't coordinate. We didn't do anything. Although Biden himself is not mentioned, the active participation of Sue and other high-ranking White House officials raises questions whether Biden was forthright when he told 60 Minutes he wasn't involved in the investigation. I have not asked for the specifics of those documents, Biden told Scott Pelley on the September 17th broadcast. That's when he could still talk, like when he could still think. Remember, Philo?
Oh, yeah. Two or three sentences where he drifted off, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Because I don't want to get myself in the middle of whether or not the DOJ should move or not move on certain actions they could take. I agreed I would not tell them what to do and not, in fact, engage in telling them how to prosecute or not. which is exactly what they did. It was like, get him, make sure he can't run against me because I'm so old and fading away and paranoid that I'm really worried about losing the next election.
Well, didn't Biden say that he was going to be a transitional president?
Yeah.
4 years is all he was supposed to be. And the next thing you know, what is he doing?
+2.
Yes. And what does he do? He's going to run again for president. He doesn't even know what planet he's on.
Until Pelosi went and stabbed him in the back. I mean, that whole thing it's his oldest time, man. It's like the Shakespeare, Julius Caesar, like the play.
Yep.
You know, you too, Brutus. They all get in one stab, so they don't know which stab killed them.
Wasn't Brutus on Popeye?
Yeah.
He ended up on Popeye, didn't he?
Oh, that's Bluto. Trump's lawyers first filed heavily redacted material in a January motion in front of District Court Judge Eileen Cannon, who is actually the only good judge out of all of these judges, because she's the one that stuck to the law and made them, follow the law. A protracted battle ensued as Wolfman Jack Smith fought to keep large portions of the motion and accompanying exhibits from the public. Now, why would he want to keep this material from the public, Philo?
Because he has something in there he doesn't want him to see.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not hiding anything. Smith told Cannon that disclosing the material would jeopardize the investigation and expose potential witnesses and government employees to significant and immediate risk of threats, intimidation, and harassment. Oh, yeah, the old ongoing investigation, and you could damage sources and methods. How many times have we heard that from our secret police, the FBI, Philo?
Oh, a few thousand times.
Oh, yeah. Philo and I have been around. We've been watching this circus since we were little kids, okay? I don't know about Terry, but I no matter where I lived, I got the paper every day.
Yep. I used to get the New York Daily News.
Yeah, and even then, it's mostly Pravda, but you try and keep abreast of this stuff. And, they always told us Nixon was a bad guy and did this and did that. It turns out that the more we're digging now, we're finding out that they set Nixon up too, because he wanted to end the war earlier than they wanted it ended. You believe that?
Yep, I know.
Like when he went to the Lincoln Memorial there in the middle of the night, 1971 or whatever.
Yeah.
And the girl said to him, "You can't stop it, can you?" And he was just blown away because he had had a few drinks, you know what I mean? He was cocked.
Yeah, that'll do it every time.
Yeah. And she says, "Bob, he's right. She's right. Everything. The Wall Street, the CIA, I can't stop it." And so anyways, I'll protect it. But Cannon, arguing the need for transparency, authorized the unsealing of the files, which were posted in unredacted form on April 22nd. Now, you would think last spring it would have been in all the news that Trump was innocent, right? The judge ordered it unsealed. Funny how it never made the news, Philo.
Well, it made some, but didn't make all of them.
Yeah, really, it made this. Oh, Julie Kelly. Comparison to redacted unredacted shows the archives acted in concert with several administrative agencies to build the case. Coordination that included the DOJ, the White House, and the intelligence community. Now, I don't want to hear a peep out of any of you snowflakes and friggin'
Moonbats.
what's the other ones, Philo?
Moonbats.
Moonbats. No snowflakes. I don't want to hear peep out of you snowflakes or moonbats when they start kicking people out, when Tulsi Gabbard starts kicking people out of the intelligence community because they've gone rogue too, okay? We can't have, we can't have a secret police like that, NKVD or the KGB running around. That's crazy. The Trump case promised civil invasion from Biden and Mike Pence had retained classified documents. In Biden's case, for decades, going back to the Senate time. Within weeks of Trump leaving office, But the employees from Biden's Office of Records and Management and the archives began coordinated demands to Trump's transition team, including Chief of Staff Mark Meckhodes. Let's see. Gary Stern. Hey!
First
I wonder if
cousin
he's
to
related to Howard.
Yeah, first cousin to Howard Stern.
Yeah. He's a moonbat. He's always washing his hands, too. Wears a mask, I think. I'm not sure. Let's see. The Archives General Counsel, because let's face it, the archives need, the best lawyers that money can buy, right, Philo?
Well, they have to obfuscate everything. Don't
The
they?
archives. The archives needs a lawyer.
Oh, of course.
This stuff goes back to Roosevelt. And I tried, I've got to try, I should say, getting the Bora letters, because I don't know if he asked for letters or they just came, but Senator Bora, a guy from Idaho, a senator from Idaho, got all these letters during the New Deal under Roosevelt that people wrote to him and said that, informing him that all these Democrats were getting, killer jobs and kickbacks and all this stuff because they were party members. And we're going to get into that with Michelle Obama's thing, too. I didn't have time to look it up. Maybe Philo could. Philo, could you look up something for me?
Let's see what we got here, Steve.
Yeah. Look up a company named Global Refuge.
Okay, I'm going to cut my mic for a second. As soon as
Okay,
I
I'll
put
get
this
back to
on,
this. I'll get back to this article.
it'll start talking. Global Refuge?
Global Refuge, yes, sir. It's one of Michelle Obama's friends, supposedly. Stern did not specify the files at the archives. Well, let's see, roughly 24 boxes. Didn't specify that they went beyond the original correspondences. And the letter that Obama left for Trump on his first day, and also sought the Sharpie-gate map of Hurricane Dorian, blah, 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 despite said that David Ferrero, the National Archivist appointed by Barack Obama in 2009, warned the transition team a month later in June of 21 that he was running out of patience. By August of 21, Ferrero and Stern were in contact with DOJ officials and the White House attorney to develop what looked like a records case. From that point on, the collaboration between the White House and archives accelerated.
Okay, I got it for you.
Okay, what do we got?
For more than 80 years, Global Refuge has provided the resources, guidance, and community to help forge a way forward for the new Americans. We're committed to helping people reimagine the possibilities while providing a soft place to land. More than 1,000 partners and 50,000 volunteers are the largest faith-based national nonprofit exclusively dedicated to helping restore a sense of home to immigrants, asylum seekers, and refugees.
Yep. Well,
Since 1939.
according to what I've been hearing,
Yep.
that this Global Refuge is now run by Michelle Obama's buddy, and she doubled her salary to like $500,000 a year, and they got massive government contracts with these people to bring all these undocumented migrants, these illegal aliens, into this country.
Oh, I got who runs it. It says here somebody, Krish O'Mara Vignahara is a president and CEO of Global Refuge. She
Yeah.
previously served in the Obama White House as policy director for First Lady Michelle Obama.
Yeah. See that?
Yeah, just easy as that.
See, good things come to people who just hang around the White House. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, hey,
$500,000 a year, Philo, to shovel refugees. Well, Trump's coming in, Daddy's home, he's pissed, and he's going to shovel them back out the door, okay? Because we have this thing called the public charge law, right? Now, every other immigrant Philo's ancestors, my ancestors, my mother, my aunt, my sister, my uncle, all of these, my cousin Sasha, all of these people. When they came to this country, we had to sign documents. We were sponsors, right? And we had to sign documents saying that they would not become a public charge. That if anything happened to them, they got hit by a car crossing the street, got put in a wheelchair, that we would take care of them. That they would not get, free anything. Meanwhile, these other people waltz in here. They're getting free airline traffic, free friggin' 3 meals a day or more. It's crazy. They're getting all kinds of benefits that American people won't. Well, except for Lee Harvey Oswald. We found out that the State Department lent Lee Harvey Oswald a bunch of money when he got back from Russia, Philo. Yeah, they do that for everyone. And they say, oh, he was just a lone gunman, Philo.
Oh, sure, with a rifle that couldn't hit a cow's arse with a frying pan, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mannlicher Carcano. And they said that he had not only that, but he had Maggie's drawers, which means he couldn't hit crap when he had a good rifle, an M14.
Yep.
Oh man, when he was in the Marines. Okay, but back to going after Trump. Oh yeah, let's see. Deeper involvement with the DOJ. An FBI interview was in January 22nd. Sue directed Stern to contact the office of Lisa Monaco, the current Deputy Attorney General and longtime former advisor to Obama. Okay, to lay the groundwork for a criminal referral. They did everything they could to go after Trump. Everything.
But they weren't very good lawyers.
They weren't a very good shot either.
Nope.
Well, I mean, they winged his ear. I saw that on live TV. I couldn't believe it, dude. I mean, that was crazy.
Can you imagine what would have happened if that was Lee Harvey Oswald with that Carcone? He'd have hit a cow in the field across the way.
The Mannlicher Carcano. He would have got the Secret Serviceman.
With somebody's cow got shot.
Oh, man. Yeah, winged his ear. God, talk about divine intervention.
It wasn't divine intervention because somebody else did die.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I left all these some of these Christian apologists are going, well, it was an act of God. God prevented Trump from getting killed. Yeah, but what about the guy that did get killed?
Time was up. The Lord works in mysterious ways, Philo.
Yeah, I almost believe that.
Yeah, anyways, it's crazy, man. Winged him right in the air. 2 dead, 1 dead, 2 wounded. Insane. Let's see. And then you had the ponytailed Secret Service girls trying to cover him up. And they're like, he's 6'2", he's 6'3", 6'4", and they're trying to cover him up, and they're about, these 2 girls are 5'8". It's like, I mean, come on. No. There are some jobs that short women shouldn't be doing. Anyways, Lisa Monaco. Yeah, that's the ticket. The current Deputy Attorney General. 2 days later, Lisa's office instructed Stern on how to proceed. For guidance as to how criminal investigations would proceed, 2 Lisa's assistants told Stern to notify the inspectors general for the archives and the intelligence community, according to, as well as DOJ Jay Bratt, now the lead prosecutor for Wolfman Jack. Well, he's looking for a job now, too. Anyways, a grand jury and the FBI summoned Mar-a-Lago employees to testify. Oh, yeah. You know how much they spent on this stuff, Philo?
Well, I don't know about how much. I mean, it has to be an incredible amount of money. But do you remember how much money they gave, what was his name, Starr?
Oh, yeah.
To prosecute Clinton? Millions.
Yeah, it was about 5, I think.
For nothing.
Yeah. Well, this time they spent 50 million.
Well, you got to allow for inflation.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah. It's nuts, man. $50 million. The email chain went up to Tom Wyndham. Let's see, 2 months after they received the boxes, the FBI opened, which he produced voluntarily, the FBI opened what it named Plasmic Echo investigation. What was the other one? Crosstown traffic or something like that.
Jimi
Crossfire Hurricane.
Oh.
Yeah, the PP tapes. They love these little names for their little investigations, Philo.
Crosstown Traffic was a song by Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
I like that song.
Yeah. What was it? Oh, man. I just said it. What the hell?
Crosstown Traffic, right?
Crossfire Hurricane.
Crossfire Hurricane. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it was what was a line from a Rolling Stone song? Jumpin'
yeah.
Jack Flash.
Jumpin' Jack Flash, yes. Now I remember, yep.
Yeah, so anyways, this one was called Plasmic Echo.
Ooh, that sounds really official.
The probe, ooh. The probe centered on the mishandling of classified or national defense information. So the grand jury went after him, and the chase was on, and yada yada. Not satisfied with this, also Trump's lawyers got 38 more files, and in June of 23, Smith appointed to take over the existing, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Stern met with Biden special counsel Richard Sauber at the White House. Hey, another one, Irishman, the day before Smith announced the indictment.
They're everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, hey, you don't want to get your hands dirty? Another special counsel, Robert Hur, was named to investigate Biden's retention of the material. Yeah, he was the one that, Robert Hur was the one that said Joe is too old and senile to testify. Yet the guy supposedly got his hand on the friggin' nuclear football, and we have no idea who's running this country, and we're this close to nuclear Armageddon. Okay, we've got Philo handed me this. This is from the Newport Daily Express, just for those who don't believe me.
I think it was a couple days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, Philo gets this through the mail.
Yep.
Last Thursday.
Yeah. How nice it is to have all the moonbats in Montpelier scurrying because they no longer have a supermajority.
Front page, it says the Vermont Progressive call for a special legislative session. Vermont Progs are calling on Phil Scott to convene a special session to prepare for the impacts of the incoming Trump administration. Incoming, ooh, bend over and grab your ankles.
Outgoing.
Yeah. Rather than wait for the ship to hit the fan, Vermonters should anticipate expected Trump administration actions and prepare to address them rather than later, said Anthony Polina, chair of the party. Now, Anthony Polina, I've never spoken more than 2 words with him. I don't know, for some reason, him and Dexter were good buddies, but he always gave me the fisheye, Philo, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's some people who just looked at me like I was carrying a friggin' sickle and wearing a long hooded robe, you know what I mean?
The Grim Reaper.
Exactly.
Not even the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, and I've always been nice to everyone. Polina said Trump's cabinet nominations and statements he made during the campaign clearly target what is important to Vermont and Vermont's values, a woman's right to choose. Yeah, to choose death. That's real. That's something to be proud of. You know, it's murder. When are we going to go back to having abortion being safe, legal, and rare?
All I did was touch the darn thing and it went off. There it goes.
Yeah, that's what she said.
This lever is.
Okay, a woman's right to choose. Education funding. Well, we've already found that one out with our tax bills this year, eh, Philo?
There was 2 people that Trump was going to appoint, and I had to laugh out loud at one of Dr. Oz. He's going to put in Dr. Oz. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's relative. It's just That's like a friggin' syrup position or something. Inspector of Weights and Measures or something.
There was another one, of education secretary. He nominated somebody that was just hilarious. I can't remember who it is though.
Well, no matter who gets education, all their job is to kill the agency. That's it. Mm-hmm. To sneak up behind it and slit its throat, man. Get rid of it. Because you look at the education scores for when there was no education department to now, okay? And the scores went right down into the friggin' out the airlock. Okay, let's see. Education funding, climate change. Whoa, climate change. Speaking of which, I've got a new website here. That has to do with climate. Damn it.
It's funny because when you talk to all these climate disaster predictors,
Yep.
when you try to explain to them that we're not sitting alone here and that we're flying through space at an incredible rate, they just give you a blank look like they don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, Climate and Energy Lies. It's an article by Frank Lassie. And the website is truthinenergyandclimate.com. It's all spelled out. There's no little things there.
I mean, where do they think the Ice Age came from?
Truthinenergyandclimate.com. Yeah, I mean, they're finding Roman forts and settlements are coming out of the ice in Norway, Philo.
Yep, I know. But oh no, it's all our fault.
Oh,
We
yeah.
cause all the problems.
Everything's melting, damn it. Yeah, they found evidence of Romans in Norways. They found a Roman fort under the Alpine ice. It's unbelievable. And 13 billion. Yeah, the USA was tasked with the Paris Accords. The USA is supposed to spend 13 billion on the Paris Accords. Anyways, climate change. What else we got, Anthony?
By the way, doesn't it say there that Phil Scott is not going to allow this special session?
I'm going to get to that in a second, Philo. Let's see. Right to choose, education funding, climate change, clean water. I mean, this is Vermont. If you can't find clean water, buddy, I mean, well, except for coming off the dump up here in Dumpentry and going into the lake. That's pretty nasty. Oh, and then there's Mud Creek that runs from Newport Center through up to the Canadian border through North Troy. It's the second most impaired stream in the whole state of Vermont. Yeah, clean water, rights of migrant workers and immigrants who have chosen to make Vermont their home. Well, you know what? No, Anthony, no. They don't get to choose. It's up to the system to let them in or not. And then if they want to become citizens, they have to learn the language. They have to learn a little bit of our history. And I found that most naturalized citizens actually know more American history than Native Americans
Yes,
do.
that is correct. Yes.
Yeah. The rights of migrant workers and immigrants who've chosen to make Vermont their home. Well, you know, there are migrant workers. I know a guy who's got an apple orchard down in Lunenburg, Mass, right, Philo? And he flies up these Jamaicans. He has a bunkhouse for them and everything, right? He flies them up every fall. They pick all his fruit and don't damage a friggin' drop, so he gets a premium dollar for it, right? And then he pays them a good wage and flies them home. And trust me, they don't want to live here. They'd rather live in Jamaica, man. Let's see. We expect to be attacked from every direction. Oh, yeah, Trump's going to attack us, Philo.
Well, you better hope he doesn't have a sword.
Yeah. By unanimous vote, the 100 attendees from across the state supported resolution number 1. Oh, these are the progressive meeting. Titled, "The Vermont Progressive Party Calls on Governor Scott to Protect the Rights of Vermonters," which states, in part, "We call on Governor Phil Snott to immediately call the legislature into a special session to pass legislation to protect Vermont residents from the threats to their rights and safety by President-elect Trump. Oh, man, Philo. It's got to get better. You know it gets better, right?
Well, the fact that they lost their supermajority is the beginning.
Yeah. Well, people have had it. People have had it with these people.
And it took the whole of Vermont to stand against Chittenden County to get it done.
Yeah.
But it isn't just Chittenden. Brattleboro's got a bunch like that too.
Yeah, and they all have big noses and and they look like anteaters, Philo.
Now that's an insult to anteaters.
Yeah, and they have they have weird way of talking. They ask for stuff like coffee.
Yeah, some of them do.
Yeah. According to Josh Wronski, the party's executive director, the purpose is to hear from Vermonters on the front lines of these issues and to discuss and limit or avoid negative outcomes of the Trump administration actions. Should the governor fail to act, there is nothing to stop legislative committees from meeting, hearing from Vermonters, and preparing to act in the coming session while the governor sits on the sidelines. Oh, great, yeah. Let's try and get the governor to do something. Let's insult him, Philo.
Well, how many times did they override his vetoes and thumb
Yeah.
their nose at him, and now they want something in return? Sorry.
It's like 3/4 of his vetoes they overturned
Yeah.
in the last session.
It's like they say in Canada, sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry. Other resolutions of the progressive commitment to increased local organization at the town level and to building the Progressive Party outside of the Democrat and Republican parties. Yeah, well, I was once a proud member of the Progressives too, but until I found out I was the enemy. I was a straight white guy. I liked to shoot guns. I used to hunt in the old days. I became the enemy, Philo.
If you're a straight white male, you're automatically labeled as the enemy.
Yeah,
Even
that's
if you don't have
when
a
I
gun.
left the party. I said, that's it, man.
Even if you don't have a gun.
Yeah,
I used to own guns. I don't anymore. I just lost interest.
yeah, I just happened to, I don't know, being a machinist from an engineering standpoint, I kind of, I like them. Anyways. Oh, yeah, so they're going to meet together, flap their gums, and do nothing, which is what the Progs have been good at for the past 20 years.
Yep.
Another resolution points out that the progressives have gone out of their way to build coalitions with the Democrats, while Democrats have consistently introduced and supported legislation to undermine progressive efforts. So not only are they insulting the governor, Philo, they're insulting the Democrats too.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, last but not least.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Nope. Go ahead and finish that article.
All right. And while the Democrats have controlled the legislature for years, the party maintains the state still struggles with houselessness. Houselessness. Yeah, you're judged by what you don't have. The high cost of college and unaffordable property taxes, among other issues.
Okay.
Well, who raised who raised the budget so that you had to friggin' pay the taxes? What the hell? Anyways, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. Looks like I'll have more news left over for like meatloaf for next week too. So hopefully we'll see you again next week. Inshallah, as the Hebrews say. So until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you, head east, and worship the meteorite in Mecca and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar.
I got the wrong one. Let me try that again.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
There you go.
Yeah.
Darn things.
Force in areas of the federal government that
Mass
are bloated.
reductions
We
in
expect
force.
massive cuts of federal contractors and
Yes.
others who are overbilling the federal government. So yes, we expect all of the above.
Trump's the candidate of hope and change now. Sorry.
What the hell?
And with this of finding Uncle Bosie.
Thank you very, very much.
Wait, oh, it's a jungle out there. Hey, come back. There's hungry leopards.
Unfortunately, Joe was treated better by the tribesmen than by his fellow world leaders.
Indeed, by the fighting men of World War II or Korea. Until the latest of our world conflicts, the United States had no armaments industry. American makers of plowshares could, with time and as required, make swords as well. But we can no longer risk emergency improvisation of national defense. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Added to this, 3.5 million men and women are directly engaged in the defense establishment. We annually spend on military security alone more than the net income of all United States corporations. Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. The total influence, economic, political, even spiritual, is felt in every city, every state house, every office of the federal government. We recognize the imperative need for this development, yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. Our toil, resources, and livelihood are all involved. So is the very structure of our society. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
Big home.